Hello everyone, how are we all doing? I hope everyone's doing good this week. We are live, so as usual, let me know who the levels are. Let me know if you need more or less of anything. So yes, we are live. And yes, Michelle, we are live. I just saw your comment then. We are definitely live. So who we got in the chat already today? Marty McFly's here. Hey Leigh, how's it going? I recently picked up one of my dream guitars, an EVH Stripe series in red, white and black. It's about 3 years old, but looks like new. That's really cool. I love those EVH guitars. They are just spectacular guitars. Yeah, congrats on finally being able to get your dream guitar. It's a big thing when you finally get your hands on something that you wanted for a very long time. I mean, I'm the same. There's guitars that I've wanted for years and years. It took me a while to get, one of which is the topic for tonight's show. So yeah, I know exactly what you're kind of going through there. It's such a great feeling when you finally get that dream guitar and it's yours. So yeah, awesome. Congratulations on that. Peter Grant's in as well. Hey Peter, how are you doing? LT Custom Guitars. Hey Lewis, how's it going? Even in all, I may not be able to comment, but I am watching. So Lewis, there's a guitar in shot that you might be familiar with. Are we ready to talk about it yet? What do you think? We haven't made the official video yet, but seeing as you're here, I'm going to throw that one over to you. Are we ready to talk about the mystery guitar that I keep dropping a few hints at on the live streams? What do you think? I know you're probably a busy man. Levels all good, by the way. Thank you. Let me know if you need more of anything as we go on. Happy Wednesday, mostly live, some inorganic components, but they don't know they're not alive. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. It's kind of an otherworldly way of looking at the YouTube live thing. Greetings from France. How's it going? Good to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. Which part of France? I love France. It's a nice place. I was recently down in the south of France, not too far from Montpellier, for some gigs. What a fantastic area that was. Maybe not yet. Let's tease them a little longer. Okay, you're the boss. So I'm going to keep drawing attention to this guitar. This one right here, but I'm not going to talk about it because Lewis, LT Custom Guitars, has told me that I'm not allowed to. So I'm just going to keep pointing out that this guitar exists and it's here, but I'm not going to talk much about it. But you may have actually seen it already. If you watched my recent 10 essential guitar solos video, you may have seen that thing in action. So it has had a video viewing or a video outing, but it hasn't had its own video yet. So that's coming up very soon. The moon is technically another world. I mean, you're not wrong. The moon is technically another world. Need more of a girlfriend. Also, some money to send to Lewis. Oh yeah, of course, because Lewis is building you a base, isn't he? I don't know if you've probed him to start that properly yet, but you should, because you need a base from Lewis. So Lewis, Michelle wants a base, so I would definitely you know, start speccing that up, because Michelle's a man who needs a good bass, and you could build him a good bass. So yeah, what's everyone been up to, other than encouraging Lewis to build Michelle a bass? What have you guys been up to lately? Everyone doing good? All nice and busy and going crazy in life? Today, I'm going to be talking about something quite new that's landed on my doorstep. And this is a very, very special guitar. This is my PJD St. John. Now, I've been waiting to get one of these for such a long time. So anyone here who has followed the channel for a while will know that I started kind of using some of the PJD stuff probably last summer. Maybe even a little bit before that. I think it was last summer at 42 Gear Street. That was the first time I experienced the brand. Obviously met Jens and very briefly met the UK guys because they were there for the first day. And yeah, just instantly fell in love with the guitars. The second I played one, I was like, yeah, that's something I need in my life. And there's a few guitars along the, over the years or along the way that have done that to me, where I've instantly known I need one of these, and PJD were one of those for me. So yeah, finally got this thing through, and I'm loving it. So I thought I'd bring it on. Again, I haven't even made a video with it yet, but I just thought I'd bring it on here tonight to talk about it because I'm just so excited to actually have it. So yeah, this arrived, I think maybe like last Thursday, I think this came. So it was really, really, this is fresh out of the box. I still haven't even changed the strings on it yet. And I tend to do that pretty quick when I get a new guitar. I do tend to swap out strings pretty fast, but I still haven't even brought myself to do that with this because I just like playing it so much. So this color, they asked me what color I wanted, and this is called Peacock Blue, which is, yeah, such a great color. I don't really even think the camera's doing it full justice, but it's a really, really nice color blue. It almost has a slight green tint to it in certain angles and certain lights, but I mean, on camera it looks pretty blue. Roasted maple neck with a nice flame to it. I don't think it was meant to be flamed, but this one is flamed, which is always a nice bonus. So yeah, this is a really fun guitar. It's one of those guitars that, to be honest with you, I just haven't really stopped playing. When I was talking to the guys at PJD about this thing, the first question I asked was, is the humbucker coil splittable? Because I do like single coils. Now obviously we've got the P90, and obviously there's a humbucker, but I like the in-between setting where you can have a P90 and a single coil in the bridge. But this cream tea humbucker is so kind of bright and airy that you actually don't need it, which was a bit of a revelation to me because I actually took this out for a gig the other day, and I haven't done a gig without single coils in a long time, and I took this out for a gig and I literally didn't even notice it didn't have single coils in there. It's really kind of snappy in that middle position. So yeah, very pleased with that. I'm loving the pickup combination. So anyone who has not seen PJD guitars, I'm just pulling up their website and I'm going to show you. So this is their website, and what I have is this thing, the St. John. I have the St. John Standard. I just realized my camera's disappeared. There we go. So yeah, this is what I've got, the St. John Standard. Now you can get this with an F-hole as well, so if you're into semi-hollow guitars, you can have that as an option, which is quite cool. So the guys at PJD are based up in York in the north of England. I actually did a factory tour video with Leigh, the owner, around about November time. I think I was up there, and I think I put the video out maybe December. It was definitely before Christmas, and he kind of just walks around the factory, shows us, you know, what everything is and what everything does. They build everything in-house, which is really, really cool. So it's quite nice to support a kind of local, you know, they're sort of local in the sense of they're all built in Britain. So the body of this thing is American ash with a satin finish. So again, good woods. I like ash. It's very lightweight. It's way lighter than I thought it was going to be. It is chambered, which is how they can do the difference then with putting the F-hole in there, because really this is semi-hollow anyway. I just haven't got the F-hole on mine. We've got Goto bridge, Goto tuners, nickel frets, cream tea eliminator humbucker, and a cream tea PJD P90. So I'm guessing that's kind of custom voiced to whatever those guys wanted. Jessica nickel frets, 22 frets, 25.5-inch scale. So it's very kind of Fender-y feeling in that scale length. The neck is quarter sawn roasted maple, and the fretboard is also roasted maple, but that's not listed here. It actually just says maple, but I mean, you can see it's roasted. Nitro finish on the neck, and where's the radius is a 10 to a 12, so it's a little bit of a compound thing going on there as well. You can get it in 6 different colors in the standard range, but that's the one right there that I chose. I was torn, I'll be honest, between pink and blue, because I've seen the pink one before and I liked it. The black one's actually quite nice too, but yeah, peacock blue won me over, so that's what we got. So PJD do a range of guitars, and the cool thing with all of their guitars is they have different series. So you've got the standard, which is what I've got, and then you can kind of go crazy. Then you can go to the elite and the limited then for the more custom stuff as well. But yeah, they're a great company. They're like I said, they're all based in the UK. Really small team of people, and everyone that works there is just really nice as well. And I think that helps. They're just nice people. So nice people build good guitars. What's not to like? Do we have any PJD fans in? I'd be interested to find out if anyone here actually owns one or has played one. Carol loves the PJD. So, okay. So Carol, for anyone who doesn't know, is my grandmother. So my grandmother's currently watching the stream and she likes the new guitar. Peter Grant, nice colour, suits you sir, love those see-through satin finishes. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, that's what I liked about it as well. That's actually like textural as well. So even though it's see-through, but you can also feel the grain in that too. So that's really cool. It's almost like, what's the correct word? Is that like sandblasted? I think is the correct term there. And the back is obviously the same as well. It's got the same kind of open pore finish. The control cavity is also wood, which I think is just a really nice touch. It's not the same bit of wood that they've cut out for the routing, which would be nice. And the reason you know that is because you can kind of see there in the light, the grain actually goes lengthways on this, fully lengthways, whereas here it's going that way. So it's not the exact bit of wood that came out of there, but it's a nice touch because it retains the kind of the clean look of the back of the guitar, which is nice. They've got lovely carved out neck heels as well, really, really comfortable to play. It's got a strap on because I was gigging the other day, and yeah, it's really comfortable for gigs. It's lightweight. I think I played like just over 2 hours with it, and I didn't notice a single back issue for the whole show, which was really good. Peacock Blue St. John Standard 2, but with an F-hole. Have you actually got the same colour as me, but just with the F-hole? That's amazing. I didn't know you had the same one. Or maybe I did know. Maybe we had a conversation about that. I'm sure we talked about PJD recently because you posted a picture of the box. Maybe I didn't know it was the same colour though, but that's cool. So the twin sister of this guitar is currently living in Belgium with Michiel, but with an F-hole. So yeah, I've got the solid one, and you've got the F-hole one. But yeah, anyone who hasn't checked out PJD, I would highly, highly urge you to do so. The pickups do really have that kind of telly-ish twang to them. I was playing mostly a set of like funk, soul, Motown-y kind of stuff, and I was kind of living between you can't really see the pickup switch there, the neck P90 and the middle position, which is both on at the same time. I did use just the bridge for a couple of the rockier tracks, but I was mostly kind of sitting between the two. With the neck on its own, you get this really nice kind of warm, clean sound. And in the middle, that's kind of where the snap lives. So as soon as you go to that middle position, the introduction of the cream tea eliminator in the bridge just adds, it is a humbucker, but cream tea are very big on that kind of classic PAF thing. So you really get that kind of telly bridge pickup bite out of it. It's really snappy. It does definitely have like a single coily kind of vibe, and it sounds great with some gain. It does really kind of remind me of like a telly kind of vibe, I think, in those tones. So really, this isn't the guitar for people who want to play super high gain stuff. These pickups are definitely voiced more for vintage stuff. that's the neck pickup. So it's got that, yeah, there's a bite to that, but it's not super, it's not really, really bright, but there's a nice kind of snap to it. I love P90 pickups anyway. The bridge pickup is, again, lots of clarity. It's not a high gain pickup. A bit out of tune. Like I said, new strings. Funny enough, I didn't actually have any trouble with it when I was gigging, but today, it's quite humid today. So yeah, my studio is not liking strings staying in tune today. Bridge pickup. So it's quite low output, really. I mean, I don't have a ton of gain on. I'm using the Analog Man King of Tone. I've got the higher gain side on, and the gain is 3/4 of the way up. Let me kick it in with the other side as well. Not the highest gain pickups, which is fine, because, I mean, it's not really my thing to play super high gain anyway. Let's give it some, though. I'm just going to max the gain on the King of Tone. Because these are, like, very kind of typically PAF sounding pickups, they are slightly noisy. So, obviously, I'm sitting right next to my PC right now as well, but we get a bit of that. That's fine. You know, who cares? They're vintage pickups. They're meant to be noisy. You could definitely do the whole kind of Zeppelin-y thing there. I'll be honest with you, I'm hearing a lot of these tones for the first time as well, so if I'm getting excited at all or rambling a bit, that's because I haven't really had the proper chance to dig into this thing yet. I mean, like I said, I've played it loads and I've gigged with it, but for the most part of the live show, it was plugged in to like a DI rig, so it was going straight to my in-ears, playing on a clean tone for the whole show, so I haven't really heard this thing cranked with some tubes yet. So today, it's going through the Black Star St. James. There's a mouthful. The St. John is going through the St. James. The St. James 6R6 via the just out of shot, the corner of it's in shot there, the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X, with my usual IR of I think a Fender Bassman cab in a big studio room. And then the Analog Man King of Tone on the desk. I quite like the noise as well. It's kind of makes me feel like I'm playing through a loud stack or something. It can pinch harmonic quite well. Admittedly, it's not holding tune as good as it should, purely because of the humidity in this room right now. Roasted maple is great for controlling humidity a bit more, but yeah, this room is warm today. Sounds awesome. I'm loving the P90 tones. P90s are great. They're such an underrated pickup. I think, and we talked about this actually a couple of weeks ago, I think. We were talking about P90s then. And I just think it's one of those pickups that people really need to get into, because we always go humbucker or single coil, but we never go P90 for some reason. I love P90s. I think it's the perfect blend between when you want like a snappy clean tone, you can use a P90 and you can, I mean, that's very clean. And then as soon as you put a bit of grunt into it, just kind of brings out a whole other, you know, a whole other dimension of the sound, I think. I love a bridge P90 as well, though. I would really like to see this guitar with 2 P90s. I think that would be a cool combination. Mine doesn't quite sound like that, but it's purely player-based. That's a massive discredit to yourself there, Michiel. You're a great player. You are the best player that I've ever worked with on any video, ever. Your parts on the B-Tronic Swarm video we did were the best. Purely because you upset Henning with what you did to that pedal, but that alone is worth the credibility. And also, don't forget you've always been the instigator of Henning's favourite chord, the C sharp minor. That's always been your doing as well. Trying a P90 makes me want to try a TV Jones or other pickup styles. Yeah, I'm really into Filtertrons at the moment as well. I played a guitar recently that my buddy Jason at Maybury Guitars built, which had a set of Filtertron style pickups wound by Stuart from Sunbear Pickups. Sunbear Pickups makes some really cool kind of boutique-y pickups, but he does these Filtertron style ones that, I don't know, they were just incredible. They're probably the best Filtertrons I've ever heard, actually. It was a video I shot at the last, not the one we've just done, but the previous British Boutique Guitar Festival, where I talked through a bunch of guitars with Jason from Maybury. It's like a ES339 style guitar with these Filtertrons in. Incredible pickups. I'm actually talking to him about getting a set for my Gretsch, because I love my Gretsch, but the pickups in it they're really good, but they're not as good as his, basically. So I want a set of his ones. I've been called an F-hole before. By who? That sounds like an insult Henning would use. I can imagine him dropping that insult on the table. Saintly tone. Yeah, St. John. They got the clues in the name. Henning goes into ball crusher mode when that chord is correctly arpeggiated. He does. As soon as I played it, he tried, but he failed with me. He got a couple of the other guys, but yeah. It's not so much... He knows where it's going when you play that chord, but it's as soon as you play the next part, that's when you get into trouble with Henning. But yeah, he's not a fan of that chord. I'm wondering if it's going to crop up this year at Gear Street. Michiel, you know what to do. You know that chord needs to make an appearance at some point. I'm really into this guitar. I think these guys are one of the most underrated and under kind of stated companies in the UK. It's so versatile for a 2 pickup guitar. Like, I'm getting so many tones out of this thing that I just don't get from other guitars. So yeah, I'm really, really into this thing at the moment. This actually, again, to go back to the tease at the start of the video, this guitar has been pairing really well with me on gigs. With this guitar, this one here that I can't talk about, that Lewis keeps telling me I can't talk about, but it's in shot. Jake, I've been practicing that chord. Good man. You have to know that. It's almost like a rite of passage that you have to know how to play that riff, just to wind Henning up. I'm quite pleased to say I've now played it in... There's definitely 2 videos. I've definitely played it in 2 videos with him. There may be a 3rd, but I'm really pleased to say I've got him twice with it. So it's your turn this year, Jake. If you get as far as the A to B, then you're a brave man. Because usually by that point, Henning's usually crushed parts of your anatomy that you cannot repair. Michiel, I'm not hearing this. Yeah, Jake, you'll have to get used to Michiel. He's the instigator in all this as well. Michiel tends to decide when that chord gets played at the event, and he also tends to... Michiel is actually the person who taught it to everyone that didn't know it already last year. So last year there was a whole video where everyone went in the room with Henning and played that riff. much to Henning's disapproval, because it was actually meant to be quite a serious video. But Michiel was the one who taught everyone how to play the riff, so I knew it anyway, but thank you for instigating that, Michiel. That was hours of fun. So yeah, Jake, get brushed up on your C# minor chord. You won't need to know any other chords for the event. I promise you, that'll be the only chord you'll actually need. Quite a nice bridge pickup. It's really dynamic as well. This is kind of something I like about vintage PAFs. And the more I hear this thing, I'm really kind of digging into the subtleties of this pickup. Love it. I'm innocent. No, you're not. You are not innocent, Michiel. You are the instigator of so many things. Jake, you will love him. He's he's the guy that causes all the chaos. Michiel, I heard there's going to be a lot of opportunity for gate crashing this year as well, so maybe you'll end up in a few more videos. Lies, lies, lies. It's definitely not. I've been to Gear Street twice before. I can attest it's not lies. Michiel, you are trouble. You really are. While we blame Michiel for everything, what other tones should we hear from this thing? So obviously you've heard it now clean and with a bit of crunch. Any other sounds you want to hear? I'm thinking fuzz. I'm in the mood for fuzz today. So the fuzz that's nearest to me, my favourite, or one of my favourites, the Beatronics Octahive. I love this fuzz. I'm going to plug this thing in. So, what have I done? So apparently I've tangled all the cables on my desk around my camera mounts. Don't know how I did that. This is what happens when you set cables up and you're not paying attention. I think this thing's going to sound good with fuzz. I think this is a guitar that just needs a bit of something. I'm just enjoying hearing it with some drive because, like I said, I've literally spent a weekend with it, but playing mostly clean, which is fine. It sounds good clean, and I'm liking the clean tones. But now I'm hearing it through tubes and drive pedals. So, oh, here we go. Start with the octave off, just because. That's on, actually. My mistake. Oh, this fuzz is so good. I wish I could take this to more gigs. I don't really get a chance to use fuzz at gigs because, like I said, we play mostly clean. So if I start showing up with octave fuzz pedals, I don't think it's going to fit the bill. But every time I hear it, it just blows my mind. Such a good fuzz. Anyone who hasn't checked out the Beatronics Octahive, you need to add that to your list of things to check out. The fun really starts when you put it in octave up mode. Get all those nice clashing sounds. Things you would never play on a gig, but they sound so cool. I love how easy it just... Play 2 notes together and you're instantly into ring modulator mode. To use more fuzz. I should probably use fuzz more in demos as well, because I don't use fuzz enough. I blame Canada. Why are you blaming Canada? Oh, because of the pedal, the Ottawa. That makes perfect sense now. That was actually the funniest thing about that video, is no one knew any Canadian geography. We might sound like we're talking absolute nonsense about this video right now, but basically, for anyone who hasn't seen it, there's a pedal we all demoed last year. The Carl Martin Ottawa, which is obviously named after the Canadian city of Ottawa, but it's an auto-wah pedal, so it's a bit of a funny play on words. But when we the video's on Henning's channel for anyone who actually wants to go and watch it. Not that I'd ever encourage anyone to go over there, but you know, you could. But basically, there's a video where this is the video we talked about with the Skid Row riff as well. It's really funny if you want to see Henning grabbing 15 blokes in the nether regions while talking about Skid Row in Canada. If that's your kind of video, it's a pretty funny video to watch. But basically, he was showing everyone like flashcards with a picture riddle on there, and no one got it because no one knew Canadian geography. We all thought it was just a picture of like a Canadian. It was basically a city with a Canadian flag, but none of us actually knew that it was the city of Ottawa. So it's quite funny. But yeah, that's potentially why we're blaming Canada there. Hey Harry, how's it going? Good to see you. And congratulations on your news as well. You've had some big news this week. I haven't had a chance to congratulate you in person yet, but congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Harry, who's in the chat over there, I'm pointing as if you guys can see him. I'm pointing at my screen, which isn't even on the camera. Harry is a friend of mine, guitar player from South Wales, and he's just joined a really big band. So that's really cool. He plays in other bands anyway, but he's just had a really cool career-changing opportunity. So everyone go say congratulations to Harry as well. He's a real monster shredder. So if you guys like serious face melting, he's the guy to talk to. South Park reference. That sounds like my kind of video. Yeah, you'd love it, Jake. Honestly, it was one of those videos that when I watched it back, I kind of thought it might lose steam after the first 3 or 4 people because it's kind of the same thing. But I do think it got funnier as the video went on. So, yeah, go check that out. It's so funny. Oh, you're welcome, Harry. No problem at all. We still need to get you here as well. We need to have a jam and come on the stream and hang out and talk, and we'll just talk about guitars and stuff. I'm good, though. Yeah, thank you. But, yeah, we need to catch up soon. We don't do that enough. I'm... Oh, okay, Jake, you've been practicing then. I'm ready for the testy grab. Yeah, I mean, when you're... Right, okay, so when you're at Gear Street, that is not exclusive to videos. You have to be ready 24 hours a day for anything that could happen. It's one of those events. It's a complete free-for-all. Things happen. So just be ready, okay? I'm just going to give you that bit of advice now. Just be on your guard. Get eyes on the back of your head. Just be careful. You'll enjoy it. Mike's been training my reflexes with his violent bottle throwing. That was, oh man, what a shot. That was the best accidental throw. And no one here will have seen it because it was completely off camera. But this year at the British Petite Guitar Festival, Mike, CGS, the nicest man on YouTube, nearly killed Jake. We were playing a game with Mike's young son, throwing a bottle around, and Mike went to throw the bottle one direction, and apparently went the complete opposite direction and nearly ended Jake's career very early. So I hope the heads recovered Jake, because that was a really good shot. Alexis joining late. Beautiful guitar. PJD always have a sleek aesthetic. Yeah, they do. I love the way PJD make things look. It's very no frills, which, I mean, I got a lot of time for, because as a gigging musician, I don't mind that a guitar is quite basic looking sometimes. This has enough going on visually for me, with the shape, for one. Like, it's a cool shape. The layout. I don't really need it to have like a crazy flamed or quilted top, because I'm going to gig it. So for me, it kind of makes sense that it's quite sleek and quite kind of understated, because then if something does happen to it and it does get beaten up and, you know, used and abused, I'm not going to mind so much. I mean, I am going to mind because it's a lovely guitar, but you know what I mean. It's not like taking a $4,000 PRS out and cutting a hole through the top with your fist. So I don't mind that it's kind of, you know, a bit more stripped back. It kind of suits what I need it for. But yeah, they're great guitars though. I mean, like I said earlier on, if anyone hasn't tried one, I would really recommend it. Even just little things like the fretboard inlays. The autofocus doesn't want to work today, but they're actually hollow squares. The autofocus isn't working because you can see my face in the camera, but the inlays are cool. It's the first like offset kind of vibe I've had as well. Like, it's not quite Jaguar, I don't think, but it's that sort of ballpark shape. But yeah, I mean, it's the first one of this type that I've ever owned as well, so I'm really enjoying this shape. It's a really comfortable shape to actually play. It kind of feels like something in between like a Strat and a Tele, because it's got the solidness of a Tele in that it's more or less a slab just with the rounded off edges, but it's got that kind of lean of a Strat, which is nice. So when you're playing, it kind of just feels quite comfortable. Dynamic as well. So again, keep going back to the guitar, but that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. Even with Fuzz, like, I'm actually still playing with the high gain side of the King of Tone and the Fuzz pedal on at the moment, and we're actually verging on like a clean. That's the P90 just with the volume set to 2. That to me is the sound of a good pickup, because if you can have that much control over the dynamic range while still pushing fuzz and drive into it. If I turn that up full, that's where we are in terms of gain. So to be able to get a clean sound on 2, really dynamic. Yeah, those cream teas are really good. It's the first set of cream tea pickups I've owned as well. I'm actually going to look up the spec of those as well while I'm on the topic, because I don't really know much about them other than that's what PJD use. So we have, let's have a look, humbuckers, the Eliminator. Okay, so these are actually the Billy Gibbons series. Now I like these even more. So the BFG Whisker Series Eliminator. So actually that's what I've got in the bridge pickup of this. So that's even cooler. So bridge pickup, approximately 9K. So actually it's slightly, very slightly hotter than a typical PAF style. Measured with HD calibrated high-end multimeter in controlled conditions. So I'm guessing, you can't really see that actually, I'm just off shot there. I was reading this bit. Slightly overwound compared to a typical PAF style. But that's cool. I didn't know they were the Billy Gibbons series. That makes me like them even more. And he also has an Afterburner set, which I'm guessing is slightly hotter. I'm guessing the P90 isn't going to be on here. Yeah, it's not, because it's a PJD wound P90, so I'm guessing it's custom voiced for them. Probably based off the Duke, which is 8.2. Oh, actually, it feels a little bit more low output than that, so maybe it's not that. But yeah, that's really cool. I had no idea that was the Billy Gibbons pickup. So now, that's taken me somewhere else with us. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Billy's tone anyway, and I've mentioned him quite a lot in guitar influences. I've always been a big fan of what Billy Gibbons can do, and as a player, he's just one of those guys that's so underrated. So yeah, I mean, I love him. It'd be interesting to compare that pickup to a Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates, which is also a Billy Gibbons humbucker. Now, Alexis, that's a conversation we can have right now, because I actually have a guitar with Pearly Gates in the bridge. So we'll do that. We'll actually have that conversation. So this guitar has a cream tea eliminator. So that's obviously what you're just hearing now. So actually, let me grab the other guitar in question. This is a guitar that you may have seen on other videos. And it's this thing. My Shergold Provocateur. So let me make sure this thing's in tune. So this guitar it's very different construction-wise to the PJD. This is a much weightier guitar. It's I'm pretty sure it's mahogany, so it's kind of Les Paulish construction. We've got Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates in the bridge and a Seymour Duncan P90 of some sort in the neck. I can't remember the model. These are hotter pickups, so this is like a hotter sounding guitar, even though they're still the Billy set. You can hear already there's way more chunk to this because of the mass of the body, and the Seymour Duncan pickups just got a bit more bite in them as well. I reckon these would sound more like the Eliminators if you rolled them back to about 8. Not that far back. I don't know if there's an output difference, so let's look that up. Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates. So the Cream Tea Eliminator was like 9K. This one, let's have a look. 6-string bridge. Oh, 8.2. That's interesting. So to my ears, the Pearly Gates actually sounds more. I actually find that the sound of the Pearly Gates is fatter sounding, but again, there's a lot of other components at work here. Like, this is a different scale length, it's a different construction, it's a different guitar altogether. So there's other things at play, but apparently that's 8.2, and apparently the Cream Tea Eliminator is 9. But to me, that one sounds a bit airier. Like, this guitar is the same pickup configuration, but this one doesn't sound as clean as the PJD. So when you play this one, you can can hear there's a bit more bite. When you dig in a bit more, you can get a bit more. There's a bit more kind of breakup in that one, I think, compared to that wasn't the guitar banging, that was the stand that it was on. The strap got caught on the stand. Compared to this guitar, this is cleaner sounding overall. Even the gain is cleaner. Interesting comparison though. Yeah, I would never have guessed that this on paper was the higher output pickup. I would have instantly said the Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates was the higher output of the two from sound alone. Like, that feels like a higher gain, higher output guitar than this does. Maybe it's to do with, you know, the windings or the wire they used or whatever. There's a bunch of different reasons why the pickup would feel different. That has a fatter feel. So I kind of feel that guitar handles, like, if you're playing PAF high gain stuff, it's tighter and a bit more kind of punchy for that. Whereas this is more vintagey, and this has got that really nice kind of bluesy classic sound that a PAF should have. That one's less noisy, which I don't really care about personally, because if I'm going for a low output vintage pickup, I almost expect there to be some noise. I think that's just kind of part of the construction and part of the vibe. But that one is more of a modern take, I think, on the PF, whereas this, I guess, is probably a lot more traditional. Nice. Very interesting comparison. I'd never thought about that before, but I'm glad you brought that up. Interesting cheers for that. Yeah, thank you. No problem. Thanks for bringing it up. It's a really good point, actually, because number one, I didn't know this was anything to do with Billy Gibbons. So straight away, that's made me more interested in finding out more about these pickups. But yeah, it's an interesting comparison because I will be honest, I did always kind of think that the Pearly Gates, and I got to be completely honest about this, as much as I know I'm talking away from the microphone, as much as I love Billy Gibbons and his sound, I never thought the Pearly Gates kind of got that close, unless you roll it back. If you kind of go back to like 8 or 9, you get a bit more like of that kind of PF articulation. I always found on full, it's definitely higher gain, and I'm using exactly the same settings for both guitars. If you crank up the gain on this one, or even put some fuzz on it, it doesn't fuzz out as much as the Cream Tea. Not that that's a bad thing, just kind of a different thing. So yeah, definitely a different Billy Gibbons flavour. I would be interested to hear the man himself play the two side by side. Not that Billy's going to do that for us, but if there was anyone who would really know the difference between these pickups, Billy's the guy. These do clean up well though, because I've still got the fuzz turned on there, and this is just set to 3. can never remember all these easy top riffs that I've learned at some point. Yeah, really interesting comparison there. I'm glad we went on that rabbit hole, actually, because I have been wondering for a while, because Cream Tea actually build a Billy guitar as well, which is really cool, actually. Let me show you that one for anyone who hasn't seen it. So this thing, this is something quite special. So they do this thing called the BFGT, which is Billy's kind of signature from Cream Tea guitars, and I can't remember exactly which model it was, but it was one of these looking ones. It was a sunburst one. I may have some pictures of it somewhere on my phone. Basically, the first time I went to visit the guys at PJD, they had one of these there, and it was currently being built at the time for Billy, I believe. So it was one of the very early prototype ones that was actually going to Billy. And yeah, I got to pick it up and have a play on it, which was insanely cool, because that guitar then went off to Billy himself, which, yeah, was really cool, because I technically got to play Billy's guitar before he did. So I quite like that fact. But yeah, they're really cool. They're not cheap. They're like $4,000, but they are good. I mean, if you get the chance to check one of these things out, they're pretty tasty guitars. They're basically, I mean, you can see what they are. They're Les Pauls. You know, we're not gonna beat around the bush there and, you know, talk about something that they're not. They're pretty much Les Pauls, made to Billy spec. But what's really interesting is they don't have the pickup switch. So obviously, usually on a Les Paul, we'd have the pickup switch on the upper bout. These guitars have 3 knobs down here, and one of those actually acts to switch between the pickups. So they refer to it as, actually, sorry, the way they've got this wound up is 2 volumes. So Billy had a guitar once, I think it was an SG, with like a blend pot, so you could blend between the pickups. What Cream Tea guys are doing is they're actually having 1 tone and 2 volume. So actually, you change pickups by blending between the bridge and the neck pickup. So I'm guessing, like, it'll be the first 2 there, probably. So if you want the neck pickup on, you turn one off and turn the other on. That is quite cool, I think. I don't think I'd like that for live use, purely because there's, you know, it's much harder to just, or much easier to just flip a switch to change pickup. But for just the fact that you could blend between the pickups and do those cool things, that's quite interesting, I think. I think that's quite a cool touch. But yeah, those Cream Teas are really cool guitars. I mean, if Billy plays them, you know, they've got to be good. Drop my pick. I am definitely favouring the Eliminator, though, in terms of the Billy pickups. I'm running over my in-ear cable. In terms of the Billy pickups, the Eliminator is definitely winning for me, though. There's something about that top end snap that's just really pleasing. that's the winner. I'm glad you made me go down that rabbit hole though, Alexis. I enjoyed actually thinking about that one for the first time. That was really cool. Now I just need to remember more of Billy's stuff because I always forget them. These are really versatile for like different playing styles too. So if you're playing with your fingers, they kind of show a lot of the detail. I like pickups that are really dynamic too. So these, you can really go from playing like super, super soft and that's with the volume on kind of 5.5, and then if you start digging in, the volume on 10, it's just as dynamic, so I could play soft. And then dig in. Nice. So yeah, there it is. There's my new PJD St. John Standard. I'm loving it. What a cool guitar. I've wanted one of these for a long, long time. And now here it is. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this thing. This is going to be a guitar that you're probably going to see a lot from now on. It's going to be cropping up a lot in videos, cropping up a lot on socials and all that stuff as well. So yeah, thought I'd bring it on and show you guys. And the video for this thing will be out at some point very soon. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. It's been fun. It's been cool to chat, talk about the PJD and share some Billy Gibbons fun with you guys. So I'm going to get out of here now. And yeah, we'll catch up next week at the same time. All being well, I don't think I'm away next week at all, so should be on for it. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. As always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button to help the algorithm find the stream and find the channel and whatnot. And yeah, down below, links, social media and all that stuff. Come hang out, come say hello. Let's just talk about gear. And also, I'm probably going to be posting a ton of photos of this thing anyway, so if you want to see more about this, go and hit the link for my Instagram page and come and see that over there. I actually posted a photo of it from the gig I did on Saturday. I took it out to a gig, and we showed up at the venue, and the back wall was covered in like string lighting, kind of like what I've got on the back wall here, but way better than what I've got on the back wall. And as soon as I walked in the room, the first thing I thought is, that guitar needs to go against that wall for an Instagram photo. And I was that guy for the night. So if you want to see more about that kind of stuff and how this thing looks against the wall of lights, go and give that link a good click as well. But yeah, thank you guys. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And that was me knocking my phone off the desk. Have a good week, guys. See you later.